Namaste, everyone. This is our yin practice for this week. And we've been going over this series of the chakras. And this week is specifically geared towards the sixth chakra, or the third eye. We've talked about the first one being at the base of the spine, governing legs and feet, the process of elimination, physical identity, including our survival skills, sense of safety, and ancestral roots and conditioning. The second chakra is about the hips, the low back, the reproductive organs. It holds creativity. It's about procreation, creating life, ideas, projects, endeavors. It concerns allowance, surrendering, pleasure, and pain. It's our emotional and sexual identity. The third chakra is all about our ego, our personality, our personal willpower, our strength, resilience, our confidence, and it holds the digestive system. The fourth holds the heart chakra, the heart, the lungs. It's about love and empathy, compassion, forgiveness, or at least these are the positive things from the heart chakra. It's the place of integration, balance, and harmony. We talked about the throat chakra, which is the throat, the neck, about communication, speaking and living our truth. And it's about personal expression. And so this week we're moving up to the brow. The base of the head is kind of like the southern end. And here at the forehead, specifically here at the center of the brow, is considered the third eye. We'll be doing a little mini kind of meditation with this when we are, well, it's probably when we're going to be going into Shavasana today. I'm not planning on using a lot of props. Let's just go ahead and meet on the mat. Definitely have a bolster available. And we're going to start standing today. Okay. So go ahead and stand at the top portion of your mat. Look down and line up your toes on one straight plane, broaden the base of the feet, lock in your legs, zip up through your midriff, and bring your hands to prayer. And bow your head. Set your intention for the practice today. We are theming regarding the third eye, the place of intuition, our creative imagination, what gives us vision to help to envision our future, what allows us to dream and fantasize, and what allows us to receive insight. Ajna is the Sanskrit term, and it means to perceive. We are astrologically in a place where Pluto is in a certain alignment that is wanting us to dig deep, to notice something that haven't been seen before. And Mercury, the planet of communication, is in Libra. Libra being the sign of being social and finding solutions to problems and maintaining balance. So during this time, there may be some misfirings, misinterpretations, and miscommunication. And I want you to use this practice as a way to look at your patterns, to see the neural pathways in your mind, what makes the mind think the same things over and over. As we enter into the postures, I want you to notice the habits in your body. And then I want you to be contemplative and introspective about patterns that you may be noticing showing up in relationships, in your job, or just in life in general. Let's take 3 deep breaths. And then we're going to take the first two fingers of each hand and you're going to massage the soft spot at the base of the skull, what's called the medulla oblongata. Circling several times one way, then the other. The yogis call this the entrance place of the soul and talk about this other end at the brow being the exit point of the soul. Now keep that pressure applied in that soft groove. Take 2 double breaths in, double breaths out to the mouth, bowing your head. Massage again. Breathing in twice, lifting the head up, and breathing out twice, bowing the head down. Massage again. I like to call this the southern pole of the third eye. All right, double breath in. Little tension, double breath out. Now inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Drill the feet down into the floor. Exhale, bring the hands to prayer position at your heart. Soften and bend your knees on your descent, separating your hands so that you're coming into dangling pose. So in dangling pose, once you fold over, you may feel a little quivering in the muscles that may be waking themselves up for the day. Especially if you're doing it earlier in the day, since hips and hamstrings are a little tighter. We're opening the back of the body, trying to reduce anything that we've been hoarding from our past. This could be a good time to review some of your past conditioning. Are you playing out a certain pattern from your past that doesn't need to really be applied anymore? Maybe you've grown above it or beyond it, but yet you're still locked into that habit. Now, if your body begins to accept and mold into this shape, you may want to try crossing your arms. That makes the upper body heavier. You may feel an eruption of vibration that makes you slightly rock or sway. That's energy in motion. Notice if you have a habit of catering to one side more than the other. Notice if you have a habit of putting all your weight in a certain portion of your foot versus distributing it out. Notice if you've been concentrating on your breath or if it's just flowing. See if you can make it deep versus being shallow. On your next in-breath, step back to plank. Streamline your body so your arms are like columns holding you up. Descend to your knees and then drop your chest and chin beyond the shoulders, coming to Ashtanga. Slide through to the belly, uplift your heart, extend long through the legs. Build some strength in your back. Micromanage your breath. Gazing at one spot in front of you. As you exhale, come down to the brow. Inhale, push up to all fours. Exhale, take downward facing dog. And from Adho Mukha Svanasana, press into your palms, stretch back through your spine. I've mentioned this week that two of the primary poses ideal for the third eye are child's pose and the one you're currently in, downward facing dog. Feel the angle of the hips elevated over the heart and the heart higher than the head. Relax your neck and let the blood flow and energy currents spill down to the face and brow. On your next inhalation, pick up your right foot, lift it halfway up, Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, swing the right foot through between the hands and set your back knee and foot to the floor. Drop onto your fist. Soften your elbows. Bow your head. And let your hips just melt towards the floor. So working into the hips is a good time to consider maybe the patterns that could be showing up in your career or relationships. Do you feel stuck and stagnant? Are you looking for forward motion? You find that you're dealing with the same issues or the same problems day in and day out. And if that's the case, maybe looking inward to see what part you play in that. What is your perception of it? And is it possible to gain a broader perspective? Inhale, lift the head up, plant the hands down, curl the back toes under, step it into downward facing dog. Returning to this inverted pose that caters to the third eye. On your next in-breath, let's uplift the left leg halfway up. Flexion in the ankle. And when you're ready, step it through. Then send your back knee, shin foot. Place your fists down so you can take the weight off your wrists. Soften the shoulders and the elbows. Collapse down over the knee. And surrender through the lower body. Giving yourself to gravity, giving yourself to this present moment, offering yourself to the spiritual contemplative practice. What are we perceiving? What lens are we looking through? Is it possible to alter our perception? Very similar to how we change the lens of the camera or use filters. Next in breath, we'll plant the palms. We'll curl the back toes under, and we're going to step into plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, Ashtanga Pranayama. Inhale, slither through and up to Bhujangasana. You can always do Sphinx if that's better today. Exhale, lower to the brow. Inhale, push up to table. Exhale, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, really be here. And notice what your habits are holding this position. We can even build habits up in how we approach the asanas. Are you utilizing your base, your foundation properly? Are you spiraling the muscles through the limbs, through your arms and legs? Maintaining integrity through your back, extending the spine and opening the underside of the belly. And is it possible to soften your face, your brow, your cheeks, your jaw? Now inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, bring the left shin just behind the hands. Sliding your right leg back behind. And then down to pigeon. If you need deer pose, or if you need to flip on your back and do eye of the needle as an alternative, totally fine. But if you're coming into this swan or pigeon form, if you need to be on higher ground, I would prefer you resting into prayer hands today. Crossing your arms or fists to bow the head down. Or sinking all the way to the third eye. In this way, you're penetrating this acupressure point here that stimulates the third eye and induces mental peace. Inhale, slowly come up. Curl the back toes under. Take it to downward facing dog. Oh, it's going to feel good to flush that out. Think about flushing and draining out anything in your mind or body, any of those patterns that are holding us back. Inhale, let your right leg lift this time. Exhale, swing that shin through. Determine here, if you don't have any major issues in your hip or knee, you can do swan. And if you need deer pose, you can do that one instead. Or flip to your back with your right ankle over your left knee. Here, I'd like you to prop into prayer hands, or onto crossed arms or stacked fists. We've been picturing this week a blue beam of light between the north and the south pole of the third eye. As you're breathing, you can imagine this flowing between those 2 points. Frank, a retired doctor, was in my class yesterday, and he sent me a text this morning saying there's actually something, I forgot what it's called, locus coeruleus or something like that, something in the brain. It actually means blue spot, and it's in the center of this line that you're picturing as you breathe now. I was talking about the pineal gland. It's pineal. He says pineal gland. And it actually has a crystal in it. As you're imagining this blue beam of light, you can imagine the blue spot in the middle, or you can picture the pineal gland with the crystal. And we can slowly start to back out of the pose. And onto the palms. We'll step into plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, Ashtanga. Inhale, glide through to cobra. Next out breath, come down to the forehead. Inhale, shift to table. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to continue this play of movement and building on what we've already done. We're going to start off with the right leg. So shoot the right leg skyward. Exhale, the knee's going to come to the center of the mat. But we slide the foot over, the left knee under, and then we're going to sit back in between the feet. Once you come to go Mukasana legs, lift your hands to the sides. Bring the right arm and loop it underneath your left. The back of the hands may not exactly touch or even come close, but you're still in the pose. If your hands can come closer, you can continue to intertwine them together. Sit up. Close the eyes. Breathe. Hold for 6 more breaths. On the last one, you can inhale, lift the arms higher. Exhale, drop the arms lower. And release. We're going to pick up the right knee and plant the right foot. The left arm is going to circle around the knee. The right hand's going to stack to the floor behind your back. And you're going to rotate and twist to the right. Is there a pattern of lacking confidence? Is there a pattern of being overpowering? Or is there a pattern of becoming disempowered? These are the questions of the third chakra, and we're twisting here from the belly. We're using the third eye to see if we can perceive any problematic patterns in this area of our life. Exhale, unwind. Now we're going to lay this knee back down so that we can hinge over the lap. Stop at any point along the way where you feel the edge of your flexibility, soreness or tightness. We're going to do something fun here, or at least I think it's fun. I'm going to spin around so I don't confuse you. And if you want to look my direction, you can follow along. We're going to lift up and lift the left knee or right knee. The hands come down and we turn the hands, we turn the feet, we circle around and around and around until we can land on the right hip, and then the left knee is bent. Okay. Like this. Okay, when you get here, you're going to lay the left knee over, And we're going to do that in reverse. So we're going to hinge forward first. You can always bring a bolster to prop underneath your brow. You can even take prayer hands to your lap like this. Or you can just freely drape over. Inhale, come up. We'll plant the left foot, lift the knee, hug it in with the right arm. Circle the left hand behind your back. Rotate that direction. And feel free to close the eyes. If you want a soundtrack to go along with this, Om, the chant of Om. You could look up Eternal Om. There's lots of artists who have done the chant of Om. But that is the sacred mantra for this chakra. Exhale, unwind. Lay the left knee down. Lift your arms up. And this time the left arm will hook under the right. Again, back of the hands are being magnetized together as best you can, or intertwining them as well. Let's hold for 6 breaths. Inhale, lift the arms higher. Exhale, drop the arms lower. Then release that threading. Hands are going to come forward. Return to your left knee. Step back to plank. Last vinyasa. Exhale, Ashtanga Pranam. Inhale, slide through to Cobra. Exhale, returning to downward facing dog. Let's travel the hands back towards the feet. Bending the knees. And hopefully dangling pose is feeling a little better with the second go around. Remember, you cross your arms. Releasing the hands, walking them out so we can spill back to the knees. And we've done a lot of downward facing dog for the benefit of being inverted for the third eye. You're now going to separate your knees wide, walk your arms out in front. The left arm is going to slide up underneath the right. You're going to come down to your left ear. And it's tadpole with a shoelace arm. This is one of those poses you're welcome to close your eyes to gain more introspection. Time to dive in, to dig deep, and to notice what needs to be seen or acknowledged, specifically with certain patterns that continue to show up. Right hand will slide back, gently come up, and then your right arm will thread below your left, and you'll come down to the other side. I'm working with the arms right now, which ties in with the heart chakra. And part of the heart chakra's lesson is finding self-acceptance. So when you're looking back or through like certain patterns that you have mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, remember to provide some self-acceptance through this. Self-acceptance as you self-reflect. And through self-reflection, gaining more self-awareness. Through self-awareness, gaining more self-realization. We'll slide the left hand back to slowly uncross the right arm. And tadpole is really, really wide. And we want to now move into child's pose. So you're going to narrow that space between the legs and you're going to fold over to child. Now the arms can be in different positions. So if you prefer your arms in front of you, that's fine. If you prefer them beside you, that's okay too. The main point is coming down to the center of the brow. This is like the positive or northern pole of the third eye. And this is the other primary pose that we practice for this energy center. We know that it's naturally calming and soothing. It will help to slow the wheels of the mind down. That does require patience and practice. Affirming as you hold, I release and relax from all outer involvements into my own inner haven of peace. And bring the hands beside the knees to slowly sit ourselves up. And we'll come to sit on the ground with the legs in front of us. Go ahead and bend your right knee and then open from the hip. Lift up through your heart and then start to turn and twist to your right. Feel free to close the eyes. Exhale, unwind. Lift your right knee. Slide the right leg out. Bend your left. Turn open from the hip. Lift your chest. And then we'll just cautiously and safely spin to the left. Beginning that twist from the lower portion, moving it into the upper portion, and stay mindful of your neck, that you don't work it too hard. And exhale. When you unwind from the twist, the left knee is going to lift and straighten out. And we're going to come to caterpillar pose. And if you don't have a healthy back, you can keep your back straight. Don't feel like you have to flop over. But we'll start it off by helping to increase the length through the spine. And then folding straight down. And then if it's in your wheelhouse to round your back, no history of herniated disc, then you can let your head drape. And that will feed things to the third eye as well. If you find your tongue pushing into the rooftop of your mouth, it's actually okay. It's a pressure point for the pineal gland, the gland that goes with the chakra. Hold it 6 more breaths. And now we'll draw the navel in. And once you scoop the belly in, it's safer to come up, at least from that more surrendered state. Now, we'll use the bolster. And we're gonna put it underneath the legs, like this. And then we'll roll down to our backs. So your legs have the prop. If it's comfortable to do so here on your back, I'd like you to cup your left hand right up underneath the base of your head. And place your right hand directly on top of your brow. When you're breathing in, I want you to imagine that blue beam of light shining up from the back hand through the center of your head up to the forehead. As you exhale, visualize that blue beam of light coming down from the brow to the back of the head. Breathing in and up. From the back to the front. Breathing out and down from the front to the back. Remembering there's actually something called the blue spot at the center here, and there's also the pineal gland that holds the crystal. Imagine it expanding, awakening. Six breaths here. And at the end of those 6 breaths, you can take your hands lightly to your belly. Ready for our Shavasana. Letting go of all physical movements. Relaxing in a state of stillness. Moving back towards the recesses of our hearts and mind. And practicing swadhyaya, our self-inquiry and self-study. And allowing this deep self-reflection to stem from the third eye, which will increase our self-awareness, that will lead to self-realization. Your next inhalation, just slowly turn your head from shoulder to shoulder. Bring it to center, stretch the arms overhead. Exhale, hug your knees into your belly and chest. Step your feet down onto the prop and rock your knees side to side. And then turn over to one. Build your way up to sit. And we're going to bring the middle finger and the thumbs together. This is the mudra for health and intuition. Sitting with the eyes turned down. Let your drishti turn in and up to that reference point at your brow. May we all awaken the spiritual eye. May we all enlarge the pineal gland. And may we all begin to see more clearly what needs to be noticed, what needs to be revealed. Bringing the palms together at the heart. The light in me honors and bows to the light within each of you. Namaste.